Hello class. This is the first of 3 short videos to review how to use the Motic microscope digital camera along with the software app that's associated with it. I will have already gone through all of these things with you in class, but I've created these short tutorials just to remind yourself on how to do some things if you forgot, because there's a lot of steps involved sometimes with using this. So the first thing I want to show you or remind you how to do is how to open up the Motic Plus 3.0 software. If we go kind of back to a window that was before this, if you log on to a network computer and you go into the science applications, you'll see an icon there for Motic Plus 3.0. We open up the app. And when you're working with the Motic camera in lab, the first thing you always want to do is to calibrate the measurements. If you don't do this, then your measurements on your specimens won't be right. So we need to create a standard to which the computer can measure something of known value, so then it can compare any other specimen that we take pictures of and then try to measure the diameter or the area or whatever we're trying to measure. We can compare that against something that we know for sure. So let me review how to do that. And if you just watch over on the the right-hand side, you click on Measure and you click on the Calibration Wizard. You click on Load Image, and the image that we want to open up is something called the calibration dot. You'll find it on the shared folder, MHS, Students. Scroll down and find my name, Dullinger. Calibration dot 10x. Open that up. Now what this is this is the picture simply of a black dot taken with the 10x lens in place. So this dot is being magnified 100 times total magnification. We need to tell the software that it's been taken with the 10x lens in place, and we also need to tell the computer that the width or the diameter of this black dot is 150 microns. We know that to be true. That's how far the distance is from here to here. We click Calibration, we click Save, we click Close, and now we're done. And to make sure that that was done correctly, if you open up, go to File and open up that calibration dot again, and we go over to the line, and we actually measure the distance across, we see it's 146.09 microns. Well, that's close enough because I didn't get my cursor exactly on the edge to edge. Okay? Now you only need to do this calibration process one time as long as you're working in lab. If you were to log off and close out the Motic software and then log back in, you would have to do this procedure again. But if you're doing lab work for a half hour or 45 minutes or even 2 hours, as long as you're doing specimens and measurements, as long as you're logged in, you do not ever have to recalibrate. But this step is absolutely crucial that you do. A few other tips. Make sure that this number over here indicates the lens that was in place when you took the picture. Now, from before, I told you that this dot was taken with the 10x lens in place. But watch what happens to this number if I change that to, let's say, it was the 40x lens in place. That number automatically changes. That number changes because what the software is thinking now is that you took a picture of this dot when it was magnified 400 times, and it changed this value accordingly. So you really have to be careful that this number, the lens or objective lens that you were under when you took the picture of whatever it is you're looking at, is the correct number. So if you took a picture of a pond water organism under 10x, then this has to be 10x. If you took a picture of the head of a bee and it was under 4x lens, then you would have to change this to 4x. And you can see as I did that this number here keeps changing. So I really can't stress that enough. Before you do any work with the cameras, before you put them on the scope and start snapping pictures, do this calibration step first. That ends the first short video on how to use the Motic digital microscope camera, this clip being a focus on how to calibrate.